Sai Ram, Sai Ram, everybody, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. So today, a very interesting topic which evolved out of an interaction with one of you, which was a subject which is, the in the spiritual arena, the techniques and the paths, new paths and new yogic practices are evolving, right? So that is the topic, and how do we make sure that what we are following something new or something, it's a new technique which some people claim that they are the one who are propagating this. All these things are happening. So as seekers, we need to understand. As masters, they need to explain, whoever it is. So now I will be very specific and very clear. We will not talk about bhakti margis. तो जो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि आजकल दुनिया में हर तरीके से नए नए लोग आ रहे हैं, नए नए गुरु आ रहे हैं, नए नए योग साधनाएं आ रही है, इसमें से अपने लिए एक साधक के लिए क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, किस पथ पे हमें जाना है, ये विमर्श करना है। ये ऐसी विषय है, जब तक आप क्लियर ना हो, जब तक उसका जो सारांश आपको ना मिले, तो उस पथ में जाने में कोई मतलब नहीं है। और कैसे हम समझे कि भाई ये सही है, ये गलत है, मतलब एक जो साधक है उसको क्या मतलब उससे क्या, उसके मस्तिष्क में क्या क्या होना चाहिए, क्या प्रश्न होना चाहिए, और एक गुरु जो होता है वो क्या क्या चीज़ें उस साधक को और साधना के बारे में क्या क्या क्लैरिफिकेशंस देना चाहिए, ये दोनों के बारे में हम बात करेंगे। क्योंकि ये जो योग साधना जो है बहुत ही मतलब गलत तरीके से हमने किया तो उसका असर उल्टा भी हो सकता है। इसलिए हम कह रहे हैं कि भाई साथ में दोनों देखेंगे। एक व्यक्ति जो साधक है और एक गुरु है, both the seeker as well as the master, what is it that they have to be prepared with when they come up with something new? So we are not talking about bhakti margis, because bhakti margis, the bhakti way of expression of bhakti evolves from time to time. For example, in the Vaishnav order, in Krishna Janmashtami, chappan bhog lagaya jata tha. Chappan bhog, only Indian bhog used to be served or offered to God. Now they serve even pizzas and whatever Western food also. So fair enough, not judging, but then we will specify our interaction to only the yoga sadhana. Right. First, what is it that a seeker should be clear about? What is it that he has to be clear about? First of all, he should know what he is aspiring for. वो क्या ढूंढ रहा है? जो भक्ति मार्ग मतलब जो योग मार्ग में निकल गया, सच्चाई की खोज में जो निकल गया, वो क्या ढूंढ रहा है? क्या मतलब उसके ज़िंदगी में क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस वो जो ढूंढ रहा है, जो उसको क्या मिलना चाहिए, वो क्या मतलब किसी सिद्धांत के लिए देख रहा है, वेदांत के लिए देख रहा है, योग साधना में देख रहा है, किस पथ पे जा रहा है, उसके बारे में क्या जानना क्या चाहता है, वो चाहता क्या है, मोक्ष के लिए ढूंढ रहा है। So there are different things what the seeker has to be very clear about. It should not be conflicting in his own mind as to what he is seeking. So once the seeker is very clear about what he is looking for in his yoga sadhana, in his path, then it becomes easy for him to identify what is the right path for him, what is the correct path for him. It becomes easy for him. Know what you want, more importantly, know what you don't want. What is good for you is fine. You know it. You should also know what is bad for you. What is it that you're seeking for? What is it that you're looking at? What is it that you're aspiring for? What is the search all about? Seeker has to be very clear about it. Otherwise, he will get into a endless loop of eternal search. He will never be able to find a conclusive path. What is it that he is looking for? I am not here today addressing that what a seeker should be looking for. No. All that I am saying is seeker has to be clear about what he is looking for. Whatever it might be. He should be sure. The moment he is sure, the divine or the supreme consciousness or the universe works in a manner, what he is looking for will open up to him miraculously. What we look at it, what we call it as a miraculously, I got opened up to this path or whatever. It is not the miracle, it is how the law of attraction works. This is how you are drawn into what you are looking for because your mind is very clear about what you are looking for as a seeker. That said and rested. That is said. So a seeker has to be very clear about what he is looking for. What he should be looking for is not what we are going to talk today. We are more interested, and the main subject that we are addressing today is about the ever evolving yogic practices and sadhanas, how to identify that as a seeker. Right. Now, the topic begins. First of all, this is for the masters as well as for the seekers. A seeker, how he identifies the master as his, or how the master gives out to the world his path. Especially particularly now because the yogic path is ever evolving. So it is a cause of concern. First thing, what you need to identify as a seeker is Siddhanta. What is a Siddhanta? Siddhanta is the philosophy. What school of thoughts? What is the Siddhanta the Guru or the order or the ashram or the path is propagating? First thing, be very clear. What is the philosophy? This process is going to help you to become a perfect seeker and a perfect sadhaka, someday a perfect master. Follow this process when you are out as a seeker. What is a philosophy? We have few philosophies. As I am repeating myself, I am not talking about Bhakti Margis. Bhakti Marga is an endless loop. I am talking only about Yoga Sadhana. First thing what you see, since it is a Siddhanta, popular Siddhantas in the world, right now, what is being practiced? Dvaita Siddhanta, dualism. God and me are two different entities. I though have been created from God, or I though have been created by God, I have emanated from the God, the Creator, but I can never become one with Him. That is Dvaita Siddhanta, simply put. Since we are not diving deep into the Siddhantas, we are just talking about the process of what the seeker and the master should know and be clear about. One is the Dvaita Siddhanta. There is another Siddhanta which is Vishishtadvaita Siddhanta. God like and God, becoming like God, replicating God in Himself. As I said, Siddhantas are subjected to lot of interpretations, discussions, deliberations. That's not what we are talking today. So I'm just going to give a titles of brief description of each Siddhanta. You have Vishishtadvaita. Then there is something called Dvaita, is another Siddhanta. Like we can become technically, but we cannot practically. You are entitled to become one with God, but it is not possible. Dvaita. Then there is Shuddha. There is nothing other than the Advaita. Non-dualism is the only truth, whether you take it or not, which is very firm affirmative. And there is this Advaita. The reality is non-dualism. Very clear, which is Advaita Siddhanta. Then there is something called Achinta Veda, the new Siddhanta, which has been practiced by ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada gave this Achinta Veda, or one of the senior most masters of that order, of Gaudiya Brahmana order, Achinta Veda. And there is we who ascribe and subscribe to the Master Sri Sai Nath Maharaj, Shirdi Sai Nath Maharaj, who we know and sure that is a Purnavatar of Adiguru Dattatreya. And we go to the philosophy of Shunya, which is said, clearly mentioned in Avadhuta Gita. Our basis, foundation of Shunya Kriya originates from Avadhuta Gita, which is being recited and given to the world by Sri Adiguru Dattatreya. We are one of the orders who subscribe to the order of Shunya, nothingness. Shunyanam Brahman, Shunyanam Sarvam, Shunyanam Sarvasvam, Sarvasvam Shunyam, Shunyanam Satyam. So these are all our philosophy. Sai Panthis and Shunya Kriya, our philosophy is very clear about we are Shunya Kriya practitioners. Our philosophy is Shunya. So this is basically, first you should know the philosophy. Unless you don't know the philosophy, as a seeker, you can't go forward. Now the catch is, in order to know what is this philosophy which suits you, or which you can accept, or which you can relate to, or which you can follow, you should understand all the philosophies. Seeker, to become a sadhaka or a yogi, it is not just that walk into somebody's ashram and join a crash course of 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 7 chakras, 7 days, 7,000 rupees, 70,000, all these packages and rubbish. That is not the way a seeker works. A true seeker works, no. Second most important thing, kill the curiosity. Do not walk on any path out of curiosity. No. Unless and until you are intellectually convinced, unless and until you are logically convinced that this is what it is, Gnana Bhakti Karma, I repeat myself a billion times, Gnana Bhakti Karma, stick to this. Knowledge. Process the knowledge and understand which is Bhakti, and then live by that. Gnana Bhakti Karma. I will say this a billion times till the last breath of my life. Gnana Bhakti Karma. Always remember this. So you cannot just say that I'll join one course, I'll become a yogi. The self-appointed, a lot of gurus nowadays, gali mein do guru. So these guys will give you rights. These guys will call you, give you titles. These guys will give you the shaktis and siddhis and all the trash. No, no, that's a separate subject. Guru Mukhena, you do get all those things, but a guru has to be capable. First of all, he should have it. Then he should know how to give it, and he should have a heart to give it. Then he should give it. There is a lot of issues on that. Nevertheless, so the seeker has to be very clear about the Siddhanta, the philosophy. In order to know the Siddhanta, a seeker should know what the Siddhanta is. In order to know that this Siddhanta is what I can follow, I believe in, I can internalize, I can live by, spend the rest of my spiritual life with this philosophy, I can walk on the path, he should know that Siddhanta. Philosophy. Clear? Then, once you know the Siddhanta, there are, for example, several Dvaita Siddhanta schools, as in ashrams, orders, several, plenty. Dualism. ISKCON is a Dvaita Siddhanta. Madhvacharya's is Dvaita Siddhanta. Every ashram, every order which follows the philosophy of Madhvacharya is Dvaita Siddhanta. And there are several. Will you follow all of them? You can't. So within that Siddhanta there are several orders. It will come to you. You will start diving deep into it. This is a true seeker's path. Not just out of curiosity, you will hit a dead end. I'll promise you that. Curiosity kills the cat. Don't go out of curiosity. No, doesn't make sense. Now, likewise, you have Dvaita Siddhanta. They have Advaita Siddhanta. There are several schools of order of Advaita Siddhanta. Majority of the yogic orders are Advaita Siddhantis. Kundalini yogis. Most of them. Then there are Dvaita and Shuddhadvaita, Purnadvaita. Those are all kind of obsolete now. Achinta Bheda Veda is ISKCON's, which is part of the Dvaita Siddhanta. Then there is Vishishtadvaita, followed by Swaminarayan sect of Gujarat, very famous, and of course they are all over the world. They are Vishishtadvaitis. So likewise, different orders within one philosophy. So when you reach any ashram or any order, you will by default know that which school of thoughts you belong to. You go to ISKCON, they belong to Advaita or Achinta Vedha Veda. You go to Swaminarayan sect and order, they are Vishishtadvaitis. You go to many other masters, Shankaracharyas, all the ashrams, are Advaitis. So you will know broadly as a seeker. And this is what a new age gurus, new age spiritual masters, they should be very clear in communicating to the people who are seekers who would like to join their order and their path. What is our philosophy? What is my philosophy? Whatever it is, the order, the gurus, the masters have to be very clear and communicating about what is their Siddhanta. Right? If there is someone who says that I am a guru, gali mein do guru, but I am a guru, but then you should ask, if he is not very clear about what his Siddhanta is, you ask him, what is the philosophy which you are advocating following, and living by. Very clear. Ask. If that person is not ready to answer, he is not a guru. Walk out. Without any doubt. Right? Then comes second step. There are three steps which both the master and the seeker should be very clear about. Second, the kriya. The process. The technique should be very clear about the techniques. For example, there are several yogic paths. First, I would like to state about is Raja Yoga. Why it is called as Raja Yoga is because it is metaphorically said as the king of all the yogas is Raja Yoga, which we as Saipanthis, practitioners of Shunya Kriya, follow Raja Yoga. We belong to the order of Maharshi Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. Followers of Ashtanga Yoga are also called as Raja Yogis because that is supposed to be the king of all the yogas, not to belittle any other order or path. It's a statement because it is a perfected path. So I will take a step into Raja Yoga only. Within Raja Yoga, there are several orders, several schools, several ashrams, several yogic paths. Within Raja Yoga, hundreds of them. Ramakrishna ashrams is a Raja Yoga, Ramakrishna mission. From there till everywhere, there are several schools of thoughts. Schools of Raja Yoga practitioners. Kriya Yoga, said by Sri Paramahansa Yogananda, is also a part of Raja Yoga. So we also follow the Raja Yoga. Shunya Kriya is part of Raja Yoga. We're very clear about it. So our Kriya, our technique, is Raja Yoga. The master has to be very clear because why I am speaking about Raja Yoga and different types of yogas is because Hatha Yoga is not a part of Raja Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is not a part of Raja Yoga. There are several paths of yogas which are not a part of Raja Yoga. But they are also yoga. Tantra Yoga is not a part of Raja Yoga. So there are different yogas. So the master who is propagating his school of thoughts and practices has to be very clear about the path and the technique. I am not saying that elaborately he has to explain. We are Raja Yogis, we follow the Ashtanga Yoga. These are our basic stages, that's it. Communication has to be very clear so that the seeker is also very clear. This is a discussion we are having, Chintan Manthan, discussion and deliberation we are having, more so for the schools of yogic schools who are propagating than the seeker. But we are looking at in the eye of a seeker, through the eye of a seeker, what a seeker should look for and what a seeker is looking for. So the technique has to be very clearly explained. Clear? So which yoga? Kundalini Yoga is what we follow. For us, Mooladhara till Sahasrara is phase 1. Or, the beginning. From Sahasrara to Shunya is where we follow the path. For many, Sahasrara is a conclusion. For Saipanthis and Shunyakriya is yogis, Sahasrara is a beginning. That's where we begin our path or our travel. Right. So this is our order. Likewise, we have to be very clear. Whoever seeker comes, you have to explain very clearly why this is what it is, this is how it works, this is the order, this is the the philosophy, this is the technique. We are clear? Stage two. The third and the last final conclusive question, the process. Process, technique, process, and practice. How we do it. The yogic path, though, let us come down to the brass tacks where we are talking about being Kundalini yogis. There are so many Kundalini yogis across the world, yogic schools across the world. So many people do, even Hatha Yoga does the Kundalini Yoga only. Even Shunya Kriya, we start with the Kundalini Yoga, concludes at Sahasrara, and beyond that we go towards Shunya. So when we are talking about Kundalini Yoga till Sahasrara and beyond, we explain our order and our process, how we are practicing. Because in different ways of yoga sadhana, the system of doing it is different. Some people do the rising the kundalini forcefully, hatha yogis. Different. I mean, I don't want to dive deep into the processes of others or ours or anything, but there are different processes, different practices to attain that. First, what is the philosophy? What is the siddhanta? Then, what is the technique? And what is the process to put that technique into practice? Kundalini Yoga is the technique. We rise Mother Kundalini, she rises from Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agnya, Sahasrara, and then beyond. That is the whole technique. Clear? How we are going to do it? What is the practice we are going to do? How the Mother Kundalini is risen? What is the process of initiation in each order? Shakti Patha is different. Each order is different. That is the practice. Technique and practice. Sadhana. Siddhanta, philosophy. Kriya, the technique. Sadhana, how it is done, the process. These are the three important things which a guru has to give to the seekers who come to his abode seeking truth, seeking sadhana, seeking the spiritual progression. This is what a seeker should be very clear about, just these 3 points, but that has everything in it. A seeker has to be very clear about what he is looking for. And what is the philosophy, the door on which he knocks? What is the philosophy they are talking about? What is the technique they are talking about? What is the process they are talking about? Is this suiting you, suiting himself? Siddhanta, Kriya, Sadhana. Remember 3 things. Siddhanta, the philosophy. The Kriya, the technique. Sadhana, the process. When you are clear about these 3 things, you cannot go wrong. Right? So this, in a nutshell, clarifies the 3 points. And the masters, to conclude, when they propagate a new order, this is so long as the seekers are concerned, and the masters what the clarity they have to give. I come across new schools of thoughts and philosophy and practices. I met one of the greatest masters of contemporary world, and after that met his senior most members of his order. They were proudly saying that we have 42 or 43 different modules of yoga sadhana. I said 42, 43 different modules of yoga sadhana. I said wonderful. But what is the philosophy? They were not clear. And mind you, one of the most popular in the world today. They don't know. And they have been given the titles like whatever, like rishis, maharshis, and brahmarshis, and this and that, all titles they carry. So, Baba, you are all brahmarshis, rishis, devarshis, and whatever shis. But what is the philosophy? They don't know. What is the kriya? They know. We do this, we do that, we do this exercise, we do that exercise, and we do this. And how they do it, they know. But the fundamentals are not there. How? When you don't know the fundamentals, what are you traveling towards? So it is the responsibility of the master to communicate all the three, be clear about it himself. And when he or she is giving it to the world, has he or she lived by it? Practiced, attained what he or she is saying that the seeker will attain? Have they already attained that? Then they can. This is my technique, this is this technique, this is my way of doing it, do it. You will get it. People are in a hurry to, give several different modules and techniques to the world and say that, okay, follow this, follow that, follow this, follow that. This will happen, that will happen. But the question is that, are they sure? Are they clear about what they are what they are propagating? Have they experienced it themselves? Then it becomes very clear to the seeker. This is a responsibility of the master. It's not easy to become a master or a guru. Can't. When any philosophy out of the 5-6 philosophies which I said, Siddhantas like Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita, Advaita, Advaita, let's say main 5. All the acharyas, mind you, went to Kashi. All the acharyas. And convinced the entire conclave of Kashi Pandits. That is why they are called as acharyas. Acharyas are not a title I can give you. It is an insult to the title called acharya. Who is an acharya? In the world, there are only 5 acharyas who are worthy of their name, title. Madhvacharya, Dvaita Siddhanta. Ramanujacharya, Vishishtadvaita. Nimbakacharya, Dvaitadvaita. Vallabhacharya, Shuddhadvaita. Shankaracharya, Advaita. There are only 5 acharyas who are worthy of being called as acharyas. Today, gali mein 10 acharya. So be very clear about it. So these acharyas had to go to Kashi, stand in front of the conclave and council of Kashi Pandits who posed questions at a time to all these acharyas, and they had to convince. And mind you, all these Kashi Pandits who were sitting there were only there to pin them down, and say that no, you're wrong. They are there only to say, prove them wrong. Only then, if you can defeat all of them and convince that this is my Siddhanta, this is what I am propagating to the world. Then they said, this, whether we agree with you or not, we are convinced we cannot agree, neither can we disagree. They are acharyas. कोई और आचार्य नहीं है ये. It's a, if you are, I mean, these self-appointed acharyas are actually slapping themselves. Sorry for my words, but that's a fact. What acharyas? Shankaracharya, Nimbakacharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, Ramanujacharya. They are the acharyas. Nobody else is an acharya. To become, once you have the conviction, first you are a guru, not a guru, I mean, like, you are a teacher, you hold a philosophy, you go to Kashi, you invite the Kashi, it's a dangura, like, you just dol baja ke, purane zamane mein, they used to invite, and in an open forum, you stand and all the Kashi Pandits will come and ask you questions. You convince them, then they accept, they agree, then they all collectively give you the title of an acharya. That is an acharya. So, that level of conviction you should have before you try to propagate any new philosophy to the world, any new technique to the world. Not anybody can do, not everybody can do. हाँ, मस्ती में अपने मतलब झुंड में हमारा भी एक ठीक है डाल दो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. In the group, everybody is creating, spirituality is the most chaotic space in this world. So there you want to add one more chaos, do it, no issues. But it is of no avail. It is not going to give a seeker any, clarity or destination, nor the so-called guru. Nobody is going anywhere. You want to travel from one place to another, but unfortunately you are running on the treadmill. That's how it is, right? This is about the Siddhantas. Now, anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them. This is about, the three paths which we are talking about. When the schools of thought, what is the responsibility of a master who is propagating? One is the Siddhanta, then the Kriya, and then the Sadhana, the philosophy, the technique, and the process. Right? Anyone has any questions? Please shoot.
By Jyoti. So the thing is, most of the time, what I have seen is, at least for me, you just get drawn to the guru. So in that gush of getting drawn, you might not ask or question the.
No, let me clarify here. I am not talking about the guru here. I am not talking about the, I believe in that. I am not talking about the divine intervention when a seeker is ready, like, our Paramahansa Yogananda, he went all around from Kashi to Kedar in search of a guru. He could not find any, so finally he came home and settled down. Yukteswara Giri came and said that, come, I'll take you. That is not what I am talking about. I am talking about this modern day, contemporary, ever-evolving spiritual techniques which people are propagating into the world.
Okay. Can I ask one question?
Yes, Kaloji.
For a layman like me, as if there are millions of people, they are searching, they are following gurus of the different paths. My question for a layman like me, how we really judge or assess who is 24 karat gold or what is 22 karat gold or 18 karat gold? For us, first of all, if I think very clearly, what exactly they seek? Many of us, they are looking for a stress-free time, we say feel-good factor. They love to fly like a butterfly, and certain time they want to come out from their day-to-day stress, be with the spirituality without understanding anything about spirituality, but with the satsang, some bhajan, some kind of meditations, 4 5 days package, feel good, and go back to his own domain. It is like it works like this. I think I can share from my own experience. So, to assess a guru in that way and the Siddhant or philosophy, I think way ahead. What you're talking, it is very advanced level things. Until unless they have a very basic knowledge about Indian philosophy, Hinduism, or what they really seek, then how to connect these two things? How a person really he is bound to put in a different track only. So if you kindly explain that part.
So what you're essentially saying is somebody who is, who has not even started, he actually doesn't know what he wants and he doesn't know what he doesn't want. He is just a seeker who wants to have a stress-free good life, and he starts somewhere there. For that, there are many, many yogic practices. Whatever you seek for, you get. So it is,
Yeah,
that's why I said
that is
this.
how the people so many so-called gurus. We
Yes,
also commercialize. We also
yes,
take
yes,
advantage of that kind of
yes.
demand. I mean, it is the demand of the society that yes, our life is extremely under pressure and we need an exhaust valve. So where is
Yes.
that exhaust valve? The spirituality, some ashrams,
See, that's
some kind
why I
of
said
courses.
this is something for a seeker of truth, who is already on the at the borderline of understanding that everything is an illusion. This whole discussion and deliberation is for them, the ones who are seekers, who have started looking for a while in search of the truth, not just stress free life. For that, there are so many yogic practices. It's available even online nowadays, so you don't have to go to a guru or a school of thought or an ashram. This, what we discussed today, is for the seeker who is ready to walk on the spiritual path, who is ready to walk on the ascetic path. For them, there are so many things. There are stress management courses offered by many of these neo masters, which they can practice. There's nothing, no harm in it. It's comfortable. It helps, it works. Pranayama helps, dhyana helps. Dhyana, people do get the concentration dhyana. Dhyana is deconcentration, but they get the concentration into play. Those are all fine, it works. But this is for somebody who's a seeker, who's trying to walk on the ascetic path and just walk out of this worldly existence to search for the truth. Not someone with curiosity or someone who's looking for just stress-free life. Right?
Yes, exactly, Priya. I have a question. Today we have all this, and you're talking about Siddhanta, and you're talking about philosophy, the path, the Kriya. Even a year back, I mean, I didn't know about all this. Now, being with Shuni Kriya, Shuni Jnana that I'm doing consistently, I understand all this. So, my question is, I mean, most of the people are looking for something, like you said, but they don't know exactly what they're looking for. You know, there are not too many masters to guide them to that. People really don't understand what they're looking for. They're looking for something, something is missing in their life. But I think they're not really able to, put their finger on that. What is it exactly that they're looking for? And in that pursuit, I think they go from one path to another. And okay, now the next one seems more appealing. Then they go to the next path. But yeah, like for us, it happened like in the beginning. You said very beautifully that the universe manifests when you try to, you're really searching for something. I think for many of us, it happened exactly that way. That it kind of just happened for us and we just got lucky. But my question is, how not too many people are there, not too many people know about this. How will the people at large know about something so important? I mean, most of the people don't know, don't have access to this. So my question.
Shomaji, then the responsibility is squarely on your shoulders to take it to the world. So, well, it's a very, very, relevant and very pertinent question. But the thing is, this degeneration of communication, though we are in information technology world, has happened in the past 200, 300 years, 250, 300 years. Earlier India was not like this. There were pundits at every street corner. I mean, the true pundits. They used to sit and debate, discuss, deliberate, approve, disapprove. This was happening in a consistent manner. Our school of thoughts, our Gurukul system was exactly like this.
Exactly.
And our dear Britishers, Englishmen came and destroyed it. So now it is yours and mine and ours responsibility to uphold that again. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are very right. People don't know. People are not aware. Awareness is everything. Yes, it is a challenge, no doubt. But one thing you must, as you said, I must tell you in your own words, you were a true seeker. You went around, you started the journey, now you have concluded. So likewise it happens to everybody, universe works that way. Set the path. It will take you. It will take you. Your guru is there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I said, we were lucky that we reached the path.
Yes.
I hope everyone does,
Yes.
service.
It's our responsibility to take it to the world now. Yours, mine, and everybody's. At least I'm not saying that take Shunya Kriya to the world and propagate. No, I never say that. I'm against it, in fact. Whoever has to come to Shunya Kriya will come on their own. No marketing, no social media, no this and that. But this path and process in the interest, there are several paths, including Shunya Kriya. One of them is Shunya Kriya, which we follow. I'm not saying this is the only. But people should know what to look for and how to look for. That is our responsibility. It's not that they have to come to Shunya Kriya, no. They can go anywhere. Spirituality is always a liberating process, liberating experience, not captivating. You should not go in, these modern day gurus, they say, you follow me, if you leave me, this will happen to you, I can't, all this trash. Insecure idiots. Never mind. So, but yes, this communication, this whole process, what we are doing today is for the same reason. It has to go.
Sai Ram, can I ask a question?
Yes. Sure. Please go ahead.
Bhaiya, actually I was reading Sai Baba's Shirdi Se Sai Baba. I have a small thing, like in that Baba tells that you leave all your siddhis and come to me, like that Dasha Mahasiddhi, I'm not aware of those things. But I have one small this one. You were telling of this Kundalini Yoga and all those things. And is it not a siddhi or is it different from those siddhis? Because Baba tells in the context when someone comes, he tells you leave all those siddhis and only then you come to me. That way he was telling when I was just reading 1 hour back. So this Kundalini Yoga that you were telling of this and all. So that all is not siddhi. Yeah, I don't know. I just got the.
Yes. Baba said that Siddhi Radhi ke barabar hoti hai. Yeah. Siddhi is nothing but Radhi. Radhi is a trash. Siddhis are something which you gain or get during the process of your yoga, your Kundalini Yoga. You get the Siddhis, but you should not get carried away with Siddhis because that will distract you from your destination or your ultimate goal. So that's why Baba said, leave the Siddhis and then come to me. If you are already a sadhaka, if you are already a yogi.
Yes, Priya, this is what I was reading.
Yes, siddhis are not to be taken seriously. Siddhis are raddi, in his own words, right?
Okay.
He can't be wrong.
Sai Ram Bhaiya,
Yes, Sai Ram, Neha.
I have a very naive and a layman question, but this is something I've been struggling with for a very long time, and I wanted your guidance. Bhaiya, does the seeker choose the path, or the path chooses the seeker?
Both are true. When the seeker is ready, path chooses. Seeker has to prepare himself. The universe will open up, the divine universe, Guru, God, whatever you call it, different names, it's the same. It draws you. But it will draw you with this process. It is not, you see, one thing about the divine, it will convince you and then it will carry you. It will not take you in with a blind faith. Faith is good, blind faith is dangerous. It will dispel when you are prepared, when you are a seeker. How you are a seeker, as we discussed first in our today's discourse or discussion is about the what is a seeker has to be clear about. Once you are ready as a seeker, the path opens up. Both are true.
Ji Bhaiya, thank you.
So we'll continue for now. Thank you so much. Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram.